Welcome to another episode of Let's See Plants. I'm your host KD, and today we have a special guest. He's an upcoming actor, and he's serving the military. Welcome, Mathew Kenner.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Thanks for having me.
For sure. So, let's start. So, what inspired you to join the military?
Well, as a kid, I was kind of lost. I didn't really have a lot of direction or discipline or anything like that. So I wanted to get out of Milwaukee, one, and see the world, travel, do all that kind of stuff, and just find like a purpose for my life. So I went ahead and joined the Marines and wanted to be the best, and all that kind of stuff that they sold me. And I also wanted to be tough, and I wanted to be cool and all that kind of stuff. And right after I joined, I'm dating myself, but 9/11 happened, and that gave us, everybody that had joined at the time, more of a purpose to kind of like defend the country, defend freedom, and all the other kind of stuff that they were talking about at the time. But it was a scary time, and it kind of gave me a purpose, which was quite different than how I felt growing up. So, yeah, that's kind of pretty much why I joined.
So, how was your family reaction or friends' reaction?
Family and friends' reaction mostly was kind of negative. They didn't really think I had what it took, or they thought I wouldn't be able to handle people yelling at me or telling me what to do because I was real hard-headed growing up. I was also sensitive. I didn't like people being disrespectful and stuff like that, so I'd react.
Oh, so you just take a lot of stuff to heart sometimes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Off
Okay.
the top, man. I do that now, even as a grown man to a point.
No, I do too. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, especially as a kid. And then, so like my parents doubted. They definitely didn't think, because they had trouble following their rules growing up. I got in trouble a lot with them, especially as a teenager. So they thought that having some drill instructor or somebody yell in my face would definitely be disastrous. And then a lot of friends of mine didn't understand why I was doing it. They were kind of like, oh, you're going to leave. I actually had a best friend that kind of thought that I thought I was better than him once I had joined. But we ended up, kind of talking about that and getting an understanding. But yeah, a lot of people just kind of thought I was crazy. Certain family members were happy. Other family members were like, no, that's not a good idea. They didn't want me going to war or anything like that. So it was mixed reaction overall, but overall it was mostly it was people kind of not thinking it was a good idea. But it turned out to be a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I see. So you mentioned about the discipline. You mentioned about the sergeants yelling at you. So, like, what was your experience like in boot camp?
Oh man, it was a culture shock, man. I struggled big time at first when I first got to boot camp. Actually, for the first month there, but I was always getting yelled at. I was always getting targeted for messing up, because I wasn't used to like that high stress, somebody yelling at me, telling me to do something, and then me having to focus on the task at hand and not let the people yelling in my ear get to me and cause me to panic. So I would like panic, kind of freak out a little bit, and then go ahead and make a mistake or mess up, and then they would be in my face telling me to do push-ups, and they call it smoking us, making us do a bunch of exercises like push-ups and sit-ups and all that kind of stuff until we just like pass out. But I was getting smoked all the time. I was always getting in trouble, always getting yelled at. Kind of got known as a person that just couldn't get right for a while until I finally adapted and got myself together. And so it was a culture shock, because I wasn't used to somebody being in my face, yelling at me, and me just tolerating it. So I had to learn to be able to have thick skin and not let what people say or do get to me, or be able to be so quick to react. So it helped me mature pretty quickly, and it's quite the experience, man.
And I don't know if you mentioned, how old were you when you was going through this?
I was 19.
Oh,
when I
19.
joined, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So one of my guys, he was in the military. He served in the Marines. Now he's serving for the Army. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, do they control what y'all say in the letters or something like that? Or like make y'all...
Oh, you mean like writing home?
Yeah, or
letters
talking
and
to
stuff
home, like
that?
y'all give, because I know he mentioned stories how they had to give him a script to talk on the phone, whatever. Like,
There's truth to that, yeah. So when you first get there, when you first get to boot camp or basic training, even the Army, yeah, they do tell you, like in the Army in particular, they didn't do that for us in the Marines, but I know because I was also in the Army National Guard. But when you first get there, they give you a little script to when you call home to your family, say, "This is Private so and so. I am safe. I am okay. Please do not panic. I will communicate with you shortly." Again, stuff like that. You end up talking like a robot, but they do that. But then once you're there for a while, you can write letters home and you can talk regular. They do monitor your mail, like make sure you have no drugs or paraphernalia, bombs or anything like that.
Yeah, man, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause like I said about my guy, I was, we was write each other, and like I'm writing him about my experience back home, and then this nigga ain't even responded to nothing. He just a script. I'm like, I was so confused until we talked. Then I'm like, then he he explained. I'm like, okay, now it makes sense. Yeah. So you been in the boot camp. You think that played a role in you staying fit and working out a lot, or you always been that way?
No, I was active as a kid, just playing basketball, just playing outside all the time. I was naturally athletic, even though I was not a high school athlete or anything. But yeah, definitely because being forced to work out on a daily basis by, them putting that fear in you and just it being part of the regiment, it helped make it kind of like a regular thing for me to work out, to get up early. And not saying I've always been like that my whole life, but it kind of made it normal for me to get up and work out, watch what I eat, not just stuff my face, eat a lot of junk food, because they shame you in boot camp. They shame you like, oh, you're a fat body. Oh, you better not eat that donut. I'll get that donut back. They're saying that they're gonna smoke you so bad that you're gonna throw up whatever junk food you ate. You're gonna be throwing it up, and they're gonna get it back from you. They like if you like my grandma mailed me some brownies one time, and they were good, man. They had big chocolate chips in them and everything, and they came in the mail, and the drill instructors got it, and they called my name into their office, the duty hut they called it, and then they had me pick other recruits that I wanted to share it with, which was nobody, but I picked the squad leaders, they called them, and they were like, you better eat all of it. And they're like, don't worry, I'm gonna get my brownies back. But like, they're standing over me, telling me to open up the box, and open it with your teeth. And I'm like,
What the fuck?
open it,
That
they're
shit
like,
crazy.
growl like a dog. So I'm sitting there like, and they start laughing, and they're like, okay, stop. But they were like, they were telling me that you're gonna eat every single one of those. And I'm gonna get, and then another one standing over me saying, don't worry, I'm gonna get those brownies back. And they're just, all kinds of mind games and stuff like that. But it was hilarious. But yeah, if it's your birthday, it's a wrap. Like they'll smoke you until your arms fall off or whatever. They'll just be at you. This is a big mind game. Boot camp is just a big mind game. But yeah, so they shame you. I got off point a little bit.
You good.
But they shame you about eating junk food, about eating too much. They call you a fat body. If somebody's a little overweight because they have height and weight standards, they call you a fat body. They put stripes on your little shirt and make you go to a separate group of people and lose weight until you fit the standards and stuff like that. So through shaming, even though I personally have never been overweight, really, it helped put that seed in my head that, okay, I want to hold myself to a certain standard. Not saying it's right to shame people necessarily, but it does help keep people accountable, and it did play a role with me. So yeah, to answer the question.
So, what made you stay committed to like the boot camp stuff like that? Because you said you grew up wasn't really disciplined, and people didn't think you were fit. So like, what made you be comfortable or being uncomfortable?
Well, the seed was planted then. You could say when I went through boot camp in the military, but what really did it is when I got out of the Marines, because I was in the Marines and the Army National Guard, but I had a big gap of time in between then, between serving in both branches. But when I got out of the Marines, I was living in California because I had been stationed out there, and I was broke, struggling, and I didn't have a lot of money for food, so I was working different jobs, living in different places, but I got out of shape for a brief time period. There was a whole year where I was barely eating at all, but when I did eat, I'd eat McDonald's dollar menu. I was eating donuts at work because I was just trying to take whatever free food they had. And I got super out of shape. I remember I went to go play basketball with some dudes at this gym, and I got out of breath just going up for a rebound, which I'd never experienced in my life. I was still skinny, but I was so out of shape, it was just pathetic in my opinion. So like, I couldn't really run up and down the court. My legs were cramping when I was trying to explode to go for a loose ball. Like it was sad. And I was like, never again am I gonna be like this. I don't care if I'm 90 years old or whatever. I'm never gonna be this out of shape in my life. I was only 25 at the time. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get in shape. So eventually I came back here to Milwaukee, got back on my feet, and immediately got a gym membership, and immediately just basically dedicated myself to health, to fitness, to the fitness lifestyle, to just eating healthy, even though I still wasn't as committed to my diet back then. I was just more committed to workouts. But started working out immediately, met up with a group of people who was lifting weights because I was trying to get on the fire department at the time. I've done a lot of different things, but used that as motivation. Then I started training, doing martial arts and stuff like that. And then that just kind of stuck with me. And then just kind of took it to another level and just made it a regular part of my life. But that really was like the wake-up call right there. So it was the military, and it was just experiencing getting out of shape at a young age at 25, when I had been used to being in shape my entire life before that. So from that point on, since I was 25, 26, I've just basically been pretty much dedicated to living the fitness lifestyle.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. There was a point in time where I had got out of shape multiple times. Especially like when I stopped playing basketball for a while, and when I got back to it, like I was so out of shape, like my vision was going black, and I was like, oh, I'm like, man, I'm breathing hard. I'm like, yeah, and and I'm like, yeah, I don't, yeah. Then like, no homo, but like my thighs was getting thick. I got thick in the thighs. I ain't like that at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
man, they meant to have thick thighs.
yeah, man, shaped like a woman, man. I'm cool. Nah. So like seeing that's kind of like played a role of me changing my diet and staying fit and just being consistent. Just but what you said, like you would never want to let yourself go again, no matter what age you at, and that's how I feel. So what I wanted to know is like how you able to juggle. I know you're a parent. How many children you have?
3 kids.
So how you able to juggle being a parent, and staying fit? Because most people be making excuses.
Oh yeah. And it is challenging. I'm not gonna say it's not a legit complaint or challenge. So me personally, a lot of my workouts, this is just me. A lot of my workouts are pretty quick and short. They're not long, hour-long workouts. I mean, I do work out like that from time to time. I do work out for an hour, 45 minutes. But my average workout would usually be 20 to 30 minutes. Sometimes even 10 minutes. Like just Friday, I did a 10-minute workout. It was just push-ups, squats, but it'll be the intensity of the workout that will be the difference maker. So the shorter the window of time I have to work out, because a lot of times I got to squeeze a workout in before we got to go here and do this, or I got to go pick up my son from school, or I got to do whatever the situation is. But go down to my basement. I don't have to lift weights. I do all body weight workouts. I got kettlebells and resistance bands in my basement. Sometimes I go in my backyard or go to the park while my kids play, especially when my older kids were younger. While they're playing, I'll be chasing them around, playing monster with them, but I'll be doing pull-ups and push-ups and stuff like that. I go for a run while my son is at practice or something like that. I'll be working out on the side while he's practicing or going for a run around the area. I just do all kinds of different things like that. So if I'm not able to get my scheduled workout time in, I just get it in wherever. I work out anytime. I don't have to work out in the morning. I work out middle of the day if I'm able to. I work out at night. Sometimes I go for a run at night. Just depends on the day, but that's pretty much my key. Making sure I get it, even if it's just a 5-minute. I've done 5-minute workouts before, but it'll be like nonstop exercise for 5 minutes. I'll set a timer and just keep going. So it's things like that, pretty much.
No, that's impressive because like I be telling people like you do like 15 minutes on the treadmill, 10 minutes. It just at least you doing something. At least do something. So I applaud you for that. So what I want to know is what are some self-care practices or activities that find beneficial for your mental well-being?
Well, working out is definitely number one for my mental well-being because you already know, like you get those endorphins flowing, that dopamine. It's the same thing that like someone that does drug chases. That people that do drugs, people that drink, they're chasing the same things, that dopamine. So same thing. That's one thing, but also I like to reflect on my life and just think about how far I've come. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect because I do struggle with negative thinking a lot of times.
Yeah,
but
overthinking stuff like that.
yeah, I'm definitely a big overthinker.
Me, you both.
Man, it's like a curse.
Man, I told myself like, man, if overthinking was a death, that'd be
I died a bunch of times and came back.
No, for real.
But I try to reflect and be grateful for how far I've come in the last year. Like right now, I'll think, a year ago this time I was doing this because I actually have a very good memory. But I'll think about a year ago at this time I was doing this. Oh man, I wasn't even at this point a year ago. So I'm always thinking about, even if it's just the small victories, I'll be grateful for the small advancements that I've made in my life up to this point. And so it's stuff like that. Like I was telling you before, going out in nature, to be honest, is not enough of us, not enough men that look like us are getting out there, getting outdoors, getting the sunlight, getting fresh air, going for a swim, like just going to the beach or something, getting in the water. A lot of people are afraid to swim, which it's an understandable and legit fear, but that's why I like to work out outdoors. I mean, I do go to the gym, but like I prefer to work out going to the lakefront, go to the park with my kids, and just work out, be in the elements, because it just is very therapeutic. But getting in nature, man, I don't see enough people that look like us outdoors enough doing like healthy things. Like if I go somewhere outdoors, go to the lakefront or anywhere like that, a lot of people that look like us are smoking, got a cup or something, got a bottle, drinking, doing something that's not very healthy. They're trying to unwind. They're trying to do the same thing I'm doing as far as feel good, but they're not doing it in a healthy way. You don't see enough people running, working out, meditating, just relaxing without taking any substances, stuff like that. So that's one thing I do. And then writing is another one. Just using my imagination in writing and trying to come up with like creative stories and stuff like that. So things like that, what I do.
Yeah, I feel you on that one, especially the overthinking part, and especially you comparing yourself like, okay, in a good way. You like, I started from zero, now I'm at this level and stuff like that. Yeah, I definitely have those moments because sometimes like we get caught up looking at the big picture instead of looking at now and being appreciative of where we at right now. Like a wise man always told me, life is a marathon, not a sprint. And that's something I got to keep reminding myself. I overthink a lot. Even with this podcast, man, I'll be overthinking a lot, like just overthinking a lot, especially when I started. But, I just got to just take my time and just keep talking to myself and, stuff like that.
Positive self-talk.
Yeah.
A lot of that. Life is battles. The war is the ultimate goal, but the war is done when you die. So you want to focus on the battles and have as many battles as possible. I just made that up right now.
Oh, you flowing? Go ahead.
But yeah,
go ahead, cook.
But it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
definitely.
yeah, you're doing a good job though, man.
I appreciate that. And then too, one thing too help me like stop overthinking a little bit. Like when we die, ain't nobody gonna remember none of this. Or like what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like
unless it's on video.
Yeah,
they can refer back to
it.
it.
But like I'm saying, like, because sometimes I catch myself like, man, the Bible speak about that. I don't know you too big on the Bible or not, but
I'm big on all
okay.
spiritual stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not gonna call myself religious because I'm not.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
But so it's just different verses I found in the Bible, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, but it's just certain stuff I'm just gonna just do it because at the end of the day, it'd be fair, be messing with me and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I applaud you on being an actor because I ain't gonna lie, I be one of the do my thing, being acting, but I'm like, I don't know, it's that fear. So what I want to know is like, what made you be interested in acting?
Started when I was a little kid. I was quiet. I was shy. I did not have a lot of confidence, and I just had a big imagination. And I would always imagine myself being the characters in movies, being someone who was well loved or liked. Because as a kid at school, man, I'm not gonna lie, when I was in kindergarten, all through grade school, even beyond that a little bit, but when I was mostly in grade school, I used to get made fun of a lot. Like I was that quiet, weird kid. People didn't understand me because I was so quiet and I was socially awkward. Had social anxiety, so I didn't really talk much. But when I did talk, I would overthink how I sounded and how I looked to people. So people thought I was weird because I'd like say something in a weird way or I stutter or whatever, even though I didn't have a stuttering problem. But I was always imagining myself being that dude, being that action hero in this film, being like Arnold Schwarzenegger, being like Wesley Snipes, being like whoever. And it just started with that. So then I loved to make believe. When I was playing outside with my friends, we just make believe all the time, play G.I. Joes, Ninja Turtle. I don't know if you know about G.I. Joes, but all right, just make sure.
Yeah, ain't that old. I mean, ain't that young.
Right.
Yeah.
But Ninja Turtles, just doing all that stuff, just playing make believe. So then when I was in grade school, we had a drama class because I went to a creative arts school. Even though I wasn't that outgoing, drama was my favorite. And just being able to make believe and be in little plays and stuff like that for the school, I felt at home and I felt normal. So then fast forward to high school, in 10th grade, I did a play. I actually thought of the idea, I want to be an actor when I grew up in high school, but we had a play that we did, it was called The Lottery, and I played an old man. I was only 16, but I played an old man, and I had to get powder in my hair to make it look gray and hunch over and wear old man clothes, but I pretty much got all kinds of praise from all my classmates, from people watching the play, from my own family that came and watched, and kind of made it a point to steal the show as Old Man Warner, which was the character I was playing. And that really gave me the confidence to be like, this is what I want to do when I grow up. But then life happened. I got out of high school, joined the military, was trying to find my way through life, and stuff happened, got out of the military, had a bunch of different jobs that I needed to have to support myself, and went to school for a little bit for television video production at MATC, and then fast forward to now, started doing it professionally, and here I am. The journey continues. So
Yeah, for sure. So how many films you been in How many films you been in so far?
oh man, I don't know, to be honest.
So like
I'm
you
gonna
been
retrack.
So you been like in Tubi, them Tubi movies?
Yeah, no, I've been in a few films that have been on Tubi. I don't have big roles in those films, but I played. I mostly get kind of typecasted as a cop for films like that. They're Tubi films, the films that are what you would call like hood films, but
Budget films, as they say.
yeah, but like the hood films, people would classify them as that. And I guess because of my demeanor, I was in the military. I don't fit in with some of the characters, I guess, that have bigger roles. So I always get casted as like a cop or something. But it's all good. It does fit with how I carry myself, I guess. But yeah, I've been in about three or four of those films. They were shot here in Milwaukee, actually. Okay. And then it's All About a Check, Family Code, and All About a Check 2. Swift Motion Pictures. Those are three films that have been on Tubi. A couple other films that I have been in, they're trying to get on Tubi. They're in the process of that right now, but been in a few independent films. I've done my own films, but those have been short films. We're about to shoot a feature film that a friend of mine wrote. It's a vampire, it's a comedy, but it's about four black vampires that are on a road trip and doing some wild things.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I played one of the. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
One of the main characters. I played pretty much the main character in that. It's called Sand Queen Teeth on a driftless road. And that's in. We just started shooting that right now, so that will be finished by the end of the summer. And we're also in the process of writing some other films in the upcoming months. Me and a friend of mine. But yeah, been in quite a few things. Photo shoots and little commercials here and there. But yeah, it's just a process. I'm learning as I go, getting better, and it's a tough business. But if you have a passion for it, then just keep going. And that's with anything, music, acting, painting, whatever.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, what I want to ask is, I lost my train of thought. My bad. So with acting, like, there's a lot. Let me see. I don't know if you seen like Terrence Howard interview. How I think he got like 12,000 for hustle. Yeah, he's on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, he was talking about different science,
Yeah, well, he
scientific
mentioned
stuff.
about his role on Hustle and Flow.
Oh,
Like
okay.
he
I
got
don't know
like
if I saw that one.
yeah, he got like 12,000 for it.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I mean, I saw Hustle and
No,
Flow.
I'm saying you familiar with him like talking about it in the interview. He got like 12,000. I think
No,
like
I didn't see that interview.
yeah, I think so. I think it was he got 12,000 for the role. Paramount credit not his name Terrence Howard. I think it credit his character. He played DJ, so the royalties is going towards Paramount, not him. So I think he's in a. I think he's trying to sue whatever something like that. So my point I'm saying is that what I'm asking you is before I ask my question, what I want to know is like, are you trying to get into Hollywood, into the big stage?
Yeah, I mean, the ultimate goal for everybody, almost everybody, is to get to that point. I'm not concerned too much with the location of Hollywood, but because there's films being made everywhere, like Chicago is really up and coming when it comes to that. But to answer your question, yes, I'm trying to get on that level of notoriety and fame, I guess you could say. But to be physically in Hollywood or among the groups and circles that are out there that have been rumored to do certain things, not necessarily. It's more about making quality art, stuff that is seen by a lot of people. I want to be seen by a lot of people.
Now, the reason I'm asking about the Terrence Howard because there's actors like Terry Crews. I think he took less to make that Friday. Oh yeah. So, yeah. So what I'm asking you is, will you be willing to take less? Oh yeah. To get on the big stage, but a movie can do 90, 100 million, but you only got let's say 2,000 for the role. Would you?
Yeah, that would be rough. That'll be a punch to the gut. But if it helped lead to bigger things, and based on where I'm at right now, starting out, yeah, I'd be willing to do that, especially starting out. Okay. If I had been doing it, if I had been in the game for 20 plus years or something like that and had a bunch of famous roles under my belt, I would say probably no. But in my current position, I would say yes. Okay. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah.
So you mentioned about how like people be doing weird stuff in Hollywood.
That's what I heard.
Well, okay, my bad. That's what we all. Okay, to reword it, that's what you heard. So, what I want to know is, let's say somebody comes to you like, "Hey, we got this role for you, but you gotta put on a dress."
I knew that question was good.
Yeah, would you do it? Because it's a lot of black men in Hollywood have to wear a dress, I guess, for whatever reason. But would you be willing to do it?
I have my answer in my head, but I'm gonna plead the fifth because I don't want nobody holding that against me. I mean, no.
Okay. Hey, I can respect that, man, because I don't know. Yeah, man, it's just crazy how, things people do.
Yeah. I've already encountered that. Actually, it wasn't for a film; it was for a play that I did about a month and a half ago. It was not gonna say the name of the production or anything like that, but it was we're doing a Shakespeare play, and it was meant to be funny, done in a comedic way. But even though Shakespeare is not comedy, but you could play a male or female role. You don't decide which role you play. It's kind of random how you choose or get chose to play a certain role, and you may play a female, like I was basically assigned to do, and they have female clothes there for you to put on, but you can say, hey, I don't want to wear a dress or anything like that. And they say if you're not comfortable, you don't have to necessarily. And me personally, when I played this role, I talked like a man, and I made it more funny, comedic by acting like this, like acting more macho basically, but I'm supposed to be playing a female. And I'm like, people laughed more because of that. So
Wait,
no, I did not wear.
Oh, so you didn't wear the dress?
No, I didn't wear.
Okay, so I'm like, okay.
I did not wear a dress, but my character name was a female name, and I
Wait, I'm
talked
curious.
like this.
Wait, what was the female name? If you can-
Helena. Yeah.
Make sure we got a disclaimer. Did not wear a dress.
It's not a film though. It was a play.
A play? Okay.
Yeah, but like I was, like we had women playing men and vice versa. So I encountered that. It was a new thing and it was uncomfortable for me. But I told them, yeah, I don't want to wear, female. So I wore like a robe that's gender neutral. And I was just, made it a point to be like, oh, be gone thee, talking like that, like in a deep voice and stuff. And people were laughing because it's supposed to be a female character, but acting like a man. So yeah, it was like a challenge because it's not something I was comfortable with. It was not something I wanted to. I don't think it's necessary to be a great actor to have to dress like the opposite gender or do this or do that. I mean, no knock to anybody who has, and no disrespect. But if you feel comfortable enough doing that, that's great. But me personally, it's not something I felt the need to do or felt comfortable doing.
I definitely understand. So last question about acting. Who's your favorite actors?
Growing up, it was definitely Denzel Washington, Samuel L. Jackson. I like Leonardo DiCaprio. Matthew McConaughey is another one. I like the action stars like Arnold Schwarzenegger, even though they say he's not a great actor. I thought he was always great in his films. Yeah. There's a lot of new actors that are out there that are coming up doing their thing. Like Michael B. Jordan has done some great things up to this point. There's a lot of people, but the people from the generation that I've watched growing up, definitely Denzel, Samuel L. Jackson, two of my favorite.
Okay. Yeah, it's one actor that's very overrated. He playing on Soul Food. I think she was like,
Which Soul Food?
The movie.
Original film?
Yeah, the original film. She was like, hey, fuck my husband. That guy, he's very underrated. I don't know his name, but he's very underrated.
Oh, underrated.
Yeah, he's very underrated. He's a very underrated actor.
What's his name? I know you're talking about too. I don't know his
I'm
name.
pretty sure the listeners gonna know who I'm talking about.
Got the big mustache?
Yeah. No, he's not. Because I was watching a couple of like films. Was he on Lean on Me too? I don't know. But he was.
I think I saw that.
But see,
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, but he was. He played his role very well to the point where like you kind of like dislike him in real life.
Yeah.
And I like actors like that.
Yeah, I've had people. I haven't been doing it that long, but I had people. We just did a short film. I played an abusive husband. People were saying the same thing. People that know me, they were like, dude, you got me looking at you different, bro. Like I had to tell people, this is make believe, you know that, right? I'm not really this character. I don't really beat on my wife and all that. Like, I'm Matt, like playing a character. So I had to be more silly on set while we were doing it because to lighten the mood, right? Because this is a depressing story. I'm beating my wife and I'm throwing keys at her, making her bleed and stuff like that. Like
So last question on this. So how do you get into character? Like, does it take you days? You gotta lock yourself in the room to how do you do that?
So my acting class that I had, you basically tap into real life situations, like real emotions. You think about you use a substitute. Like if you're playing my cousin or something, if I just met you, I'll substitute you with my cousin in real life. I don't have a brother, but brother or whoever, and think about something that happened when we were kids and what you really did, and to bring out those real emotions. A lot of substitution, a lot of think about real events, like a short film we did recently. It's called "You Got to Do Something." I wrote it. It's going through film festival circus right now. I tapped into thought about like my grandmother passing away, my uncle who passed away almost exactly a year ago. I thought about them, and it helped me really get real tears that were about to come out during the situation, because it was about mental health. The character was going through mental health crisis pretty much. Yeah. And I tapped into real events. I think about use substitutions and kind of just focus, get into that mode, and I won't even laugh a lot of times if I'm playing like a serious role. Like people could be cracking jokes all around me, and I won't care about nothing. Because usually I laugh a lot, but I won't care about nothing they're talking about. But the downside to it was sometimes it took me kind of a while to get out of that, come back up, and get out of that negative headspace that character was in. So I'm trying to figure out a way to not get stuck in that headspace. But it's real emotions, basically.
Yeah, because I heard like actors sometimes have to go seek therapy after a role.
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
I think Charlie Sheen, I think his name Charlie Sheen, father.
Martin Sheen.
Yeah, I think he played a role, like an army movie or something like that.
Apocalypse Now.
I don't know the name of it, but I think I overheard like he had to like.
Yeah, I think you're talking about Apocalypse Now. It came out in the early '80s, '70s. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's real. Like I've experienced it to a point. Up right now. I mean, I see a therapist on my own outside of acting right now. Anyway, just because mental health, in my opinion, I know it's kind of cliche these days, but it's important, and fitness plays into mental health. So yeah, that's pretty much how I do it.
I see. So last question. So you got two options, two people you got to pick. Sleepy Joe or Crazy Trump?
Oh man, I don't even have an answer to that question, to be honest. I know people in my family, people that know me, may hear me talking and just go crazy, like, "Oh, are you kidding me?" Because they could be. I know people on both sides. I was worried about America based on what I saw in the debate recently, and I really don't like the two candidate choices, two-party system that we have, period. Like, I don't like it. I never did like it ever since I was old enough to vote. And I don't like what I saw in the debate. Honestly, I'm really not supporting either candidate. And I can't even really give an answer because I would wish there was a strong independent candidate to vote for, because I can't really lean towards, growing up, I leaned more towards the left because the people that influenced me, the adults that influenced me growing up, were Democrats. They were the left. Plus, the politicians that were running for president were more respectable back then. You had Obama and Mitt Romney. The debate between those two was far more respectable than the debate we saw recently.
It looks comedy now.
Yeah, it's comedy. It's a show.
It's like a Jordan. What's his name?
Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele
Yeah.
Comedy.
It's like a comedy skit.
Yeah, where that show called?
Key and Peele.
Yeah, Key.
Yeah. But no, I respected Obama. People could talk about his politics all day, but I respected the image that he portrayed for young men that look like us. You know, he carried himself like a professional, like a classy guy. So, and he gave a lot of people hope, you know, that they could become something greater that they may have not had it before. So I always respected that and looked up to that. And those are the type of people we need being shown on TV representing America in any capacity, not a reality TV show of an elderly man who probably needs to retire, not be on the camera giving speeches anymore. And then another elderly man who just kind of tells it like it is, but says off the wall stuff, acts like a man has no class or anything like that. And I mean, even people who support him a lot of times say, "I don't like everything he says or this and that, but he's better than Joe." To me, that's not good enough. And then other people say, "Oh, anything's better than Trump." So like neither one of those things are good enough reason for me to vote for either. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm like, I don't like either one of them as far as voting for.
I feel you on that one. And I think a lot of people's problem is like they look into like celebrities and the president for help instead of just looking in your own self and like getting yourself out that type of whatever you in a bad environment, whatever you at in life. You know. Yeah, so I don't know. But hey, each his own.
I mean, you gotta seek help inwardly. Like we have all the tools. And this is something I have to remind myself. We have all the tools to help ourselves and seek all the answers within us. I mean, in my opinion, God is in us, all of us, He created all of us. So I don't think we really need to look to leaders, politicians that we don't personally know to help make a difference in our life like that. Like, that's my opinion. People can disagree all they want, but yeah.
I agree. And don't get me wrong, yeah, they play a role in a sense because how they, when they create laws and stuff like that, which I can understand. But sometimes, like you said, you gotta just look within yourself.
Mm-hmm. Your personal life is controlled by you, and fitness to me plays a part in that, taking charge of your life, like taking over. So there's so many people with health problems. They act like they have no control over their lives. Well, to me, fitness is a way to take charge of your life. So that's where I'm at with that.
Well, man, that's all the questions I have, man. I appreciate you coming.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
Pleasure.
For sure.